Figma Inc. So they filed to IPO today, and we have the blessing of having an S1. So we're going to read their initial financials. I want to see how strong this company is. Are they a money-losing company? I have no idea. Haven't read anything yet. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys, and we will dive into what's going on with Figma. So obviously, just I went over to sec.gov here, and we're going to go ahead and dive into Figma's S1, kind of talk about what I see on their balance sheet, their statement of cash flows, things like that. All the fun stuff. Only the stuff that only finance nerds like. So let me go ahead and see if I can get this open. Hey guys, I was editing the Figma video really quick, and I just wanted to kind of get in front. This was my first time looking at the company's financials, so everything that I might say, I was learning as I went. Don't use this as investment advice. This was just me reading the S1 at face value. I got some numbers wrong. I fixed them towards the end. So just bear with me. Don't use this as investment advice. You guys know the whole spiel. Don't buy or sell security based off of this video. Do your own research. This was just me wanting to read the S1 on my own and publish what I was learning about with you guys. Hope you guys enjoy. I would like to get this open in a PDF, but we might have to be okay with just this. Let me see. Okay, so here's the Form S1. All right, so they're going to have their pitch deck in here. Figma, for those of you guys who don't know, is like when you make a website, you have like, you take things from a whiteboard. So it's the intermediary between whiteboard designs and like app development and website creation. So it's the in between. Okay, so it's what you give your front end designers to be able to make the whiteboard vision come to life. So it's a step past whiteboard, but it's not code yet. So it kind of helps with the CSS drama. When I was first developing, I had to learn a lot about CSS. And that was kind of a nightmare. CSS is like, move a pixel this way, move a pixel that way, and it gets kind of messy. So Figma is that intermediary between those. So I don't really want to pay attention to their numbers here too much. I want to take a look at their audited financials, if that is what these, I don't know if these are unaudited or audited, but we have to, the Form S1s are still kind of like their sales pitch deck stuff. They're trying to sell you on what the business does, things like that. Their business model, I'm really just interested in their financials. Give me a second. I know this might make you dizzy for a second, but I want to go ahead and pull this up. Okay. Let's actually go to the table of contents really quick. Foundation letter. Where are their financials? Prospectus summary, dividend policy, capitalization, dilution management. Do they have their financials on here? I'm pretty sure they do. Okay, we're just going to kind of figure this out on our own together. And if you guys like this nerdy stuff, then good. Okay. Okay, I think we're in the right spot. Let me go back up here a little bit and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, we saw this. Okay, sorry if I'm making you guys dizzy. Okay, so here we go. Let's see here. So I don't know, other than like what this company does, I don't know anything about their financials. So this company, their financials are going to go from left to right. Sometimes you have 2025 where this is. And so you can kind of see their growth here. So I believe it doesn't say these are audited, but it doesn't say they're unaudited. So let's assume these are audited, but obviously I don't hang your hat on this for making an investigation. This is just me learning about what this company's financials look like. Okay. So the revenue, so this is in thousands. Let me double check. I want to open their actual, so there's their, those are their Reg Ds. That's funny. Okay, I believe it would be, so 504 million, 709 million. Sorry, let me rephrase that. 504 million. Then they grew revenue in 2024 to 749 million, and these are their Q1 numbers. So these are their end of year numbers. So last year they did, in 2024, they did 749 million. And if you guys in the chat see something or have some comments, go ahead and throw them up. I'd love to take a look. Yeah, true. It is for any type of design. So you can kind of, yeah, you're right. It is for any type of design. I know it more as kind of for app and web development, but yeah, you're right. It is for any type of design. Okay. So in 2024, their first quarter, they did 156 million year over year. They're at 228 million. Okay, I don't have my calculator on me. I gotta get a calculator for this desk. So that's what we're looking at for their cost of revenue. So their gross profit, 208 million. Okay, now let's look at how this business is being run. Their OpEx, their R&D went up this quarter compared to last year. So did their sales and marketing. Fine. G&A, that I'm surprised it didn't go up as much. They're still spending $315 million on G&A. So their total OpEx is 1.5 billion. Their G&A. So a lot of times pre-IPO, you'll see a lot of companies really kind of go heavy on G&A. That's not what you see pre-IPO sometimes, not always, but sometimes you'll see the staff kind of get ready for an IPO, which, hey, they did a lot. It's not nothing getting a company to where Figma is at. So we saw some growth in gross profit. Okay, let's keep moving on. Okay, cost of revenue, we talked about that. Let's see. We saw there. I want to see what the biggest difference was G&A. And between the years, you also saw more than a double in sales and marketing, and you saw like a five. Like their costs exploded. Their costs did not scale proportionately, in my opinion. I don't have my calculator dead, so I can't factually check that. But their costs did not scale in proportion to their revenue. So that is not good, in my opinion. Well, I mean, they're going to say it's for growth, which that's what you would be investing in this company. I don't know what they're going to trade for yet. But in my opinion, you might be seeing this as a growth opportunity. I mean, it doesn't look like they're a money losing company. I don't think this is going to be a dividend opportunity, but that's okay. Let's keep going through and let's see what we can find. So here's their balance. We'll get to their balance sheet in just a second. Okay. So it looks like as of March 31st, 2025, so the end of Q1, they had 1.5 billion in cash and cash equivalents. Their capital, what was that called? Their working capital. What do they have that listed as? 1, 2, 3. Their working capital is defined as current assets less liabilities. Refer to the consolidation financial statements included elsewhere in this perspective for additional information regarding current assets and current liabilities. Okay. So 1.5 billion in cash. Their total assets. So this is already, if I understand correctly, this is capital. It's already been assigned something. So it's like, okay, I know I'm going to be building this product and I am allocating this much money to it. That's separate from the cash that they have in the bank. So they have 1.5 in the bank. They have 1.2 dedicated to other projects. Their total assets are 1.9. Deferred revenue is 406. Let's take a look at their debt. Total liabilities, they have enough cash to pay for their liabilities. Convertible preferred stock, they should have more than enough for that. Additional paid in capital, total shareholder equity. Okay, good. So it looks like it doesn't look like they have it's not solvency, solvency versus liquidity. I always get these mixed up. Solvency. Liquidity. From my initial take, it does not look like they have a huge liquidity issue. Again, that's just my opinion at first glance. Okay, let's see what else they have here. So Adobe paid Figma $1 billion termination fee. That's crazy. So that $1 billion they have in the bank, it's an assumption. I don't know where that billion went, but it'd be funny if that billion just went straight to the bank. It'd be smart. Revenue in the first quarter increased. The company recorded a net income of 44.9. Did we see that? Okay, let's see this. Hold on. Revenue in the first quarter increased 46%, 228 million from 156 billion that same period ago, according to Figma's prospectus. The company recorded a net income of 44 million compared to 13.5 million a year earlier. Hold on a second. Okay, let's go back to, I want to see what I'm missing here because I did not see that. Let's go back. Okay, let's see. Let's see. What do we have going on here? Okay. Net income. Where are they getting that net income number? Okay, so they lost. Let's see. Okay. Operating expenses. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if that matches up. 13 put to 44. Yeah. Okay. I was wrong. So let me retract that statement. I was looking at again. I sometimes their filings are flipped. I had it flipped the opposite way. A lot of times you'll have 2025 on here on the left, like the most recent, but the most recent is over here. So Q1, they ended up with a net income. 2024, they had over the whole year. The year they ended with a net loss. Why did they take such a big loss? Because they were sorry, I read this wrong. They took 373 million dollars of net income, but why did they take such a big loss? I want to keep reading this article to see if it can help me understand. But it does look like they are a cash flow positive company, if I understand correctly. So they do have a net income per share of 4 cents. Okay. I wanna keep reading this article, see if there's anything else that I'm missing. Again, this is just kind of me at first glance learning about this company. 450,000 customers, 1,000 were contributing 100,000 a year. So when I read this, if I'm an investor, it's like, okay, they have more of a diversified business. It's a lot of Palantir's risks early on where, okay, they don't have any, like they have very few big contracts. And a lot of them were government, not private. So like that was a risk for Palantir. I don't know how big, I haven't studied it, but I don't know how big of a risk that is now for Palantir. But this is, in my opinion, a good sign that they have a wide diversity of paying clients. Clients include Duolingo, Netflix, Pentagram, Stripe, a few others. Okay. Figma didn't say how many shares it plans to sell. This is a big deal. I wonder if it's going to be like a Webull where it's like 10% listed or something like that. The company was valued at around $12 billion in a tender offer last year, and in April announced that it confidentially filed for an IPO with the SEC. Okay, so they were 20 billion and they had a tender offer for 12. This is interesting. Wall Street banks predicted the rush of an IPO after Donald Trump won the U.S. presidency election following the dry spell back late 2021 when soaring inflation, doubled its value. So yeah, it says they filed in April. So it was watching Circle IPO. These people are probably really excited. Online banking company Chime also debuted in June, following Hinge Health's IPO in May. CoreWeave. So yeah, if you're Figma, you're probably pretty excited over the last few IPOs. Buy now, pay later. Klarna, based in the UK, filed for IPO in March and did Ticket Marketplace StubHub. So I'm very curious to see what Klarna does. Figma was founded in 2012. He was 33, so now he would be 45. If my math is correct. 1,600 employees. Okay. Field is the biggest individual owner of Figma with 56.6 million Class B shares and 51.1% voting power ahead of the IPO. He said in a letter to investors that it was time for Figma to buck the trend of amazing companies staying privately indefinitely. Databricks, SpaceX, and Stripe are among high-valued companies that are still private. Some of the obvious benefits, such as good corporate hygiene, brand awareness, liquidity, stronger currency, and access to capital market supply. More importantly, I like the idea of community sharing in the ownership of Figma, and the best way to accomplish this through the public markets IPO. And I think Homie wants some liquidity for his 56 million shares. That's all right. Hey, don't hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Figma says it faced intense competition that lost market share would adversely affect our business, but didn't name any specific competitors. Figma biggest competitor. Who's Figma's biggest? You have like Adobe. I don't know any of these names. Sketch, Adobe, InVision, Framer. Oh, Framer's okay. I've used Framer. Okay. Over 13 million people use Figma per month, and only 1/3 of them are designers. Around 85% of monthly users were outside of the United States as of March 31st, but 53% of revenue came from outside the country. Okay. Okay, so now they're kind of in March, the company announced Figma Sites, a tool that turns designs into working websites. Okay, so now they're kind of going after Squarespace. They're going after Framer. I wonder how big Framer is compared to the Figma. Um, Figma has 1.54 billion in cash. Yes, we saw that. Uh, Expect us to take big swings, including through acquisitions. Okay, in April, Figma bought the assets and team of an unspecified technology company for 14 million and acquired an unnamed company with content management system software for 35.5 million, according to the filing. In April, design software startup Modify said it would join Figma. In June, Figma revealed that a blog post that it acquired Payload. So yeah, they are acquiring a ton of companies. I'm really curious. So you have Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs leading the deal along with Allen and Co. and JP Morgan Chase. Wow. So they this will be a big IPO. This will be a big deal. I'm curious to see if they're going to go towards that 20 billion mark that Adobe was trying to buy them for back. I think it was 2021. Um, Figma's also begun investing in digital currencies. $55 million investment into a Bitwise Bitcoin exchange traded fund. As of March 31st, the holding was worth $69.5 million, according to the filing. In May, the board approved for a $30 million investment into Bitcoin, and Figma sent the money on USD coin, which is a stable coin. Spent the money on a coin, which is USD stable coin. Okay, very interesting. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about when it came to Circle. I thought that was interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys. And just wanted to kind of learn for myself what's not Circle, what Figma was about. At first, I know I got some of the numbers mixed up, but I think I learned a lot and was able to kind of write those numbers. Again, it may not be perfect, but I want to try to get those numbers out in front.